This is my story of how I got pregnant after 40 naturally. When fertility doctors were about to have a discussion with me about donor eggs after a failed IVF cycle. Stick with me throughout the video as I talk about how I combined my spiritual work with science to make having a baby a reality. And that too in just 2 months. I'll tell you what didn't work for me and the things that actually worked. Before I dive into the details, a disclaimer. I'm not a doctor or a licensed medical professional. I'm just sharing my story with you. So if you are in the same boat, see if any of this resonates with you. My name is Krishna, and a little bit about my background. I started a family after 40. I got married when I was 40, and we had decided to try to have a baby right away. We were ready in every way to bring another life into this world. Got pregnant very quickly, but that ended in a miscarriage. We did biopsy on the fetus and it was proven to have chromosomal abnormalities. So I asked my gynec at the time why this happened, and she said that they are not really sure why these things happen, but she was also referring to my advanced maternal age. I was, I think, 41 at the time. Then I asked her if there was anything that I could have done to improve the quality of my eggs. She said no, and women are born with all the eggs for the life, and the quality goes down with age. And I'm sure this is what you heard everywhere. But I was not ready to buy into that statement completely. 6 months passed, and we kept trying and using all the techniques and tools for increasing the odds. But nothing really happened. So we decided to speed things up and saw a fertility specialist. The first meeting with the doctor was really great. He went into the science and he provided all the data and the statistics and the probabilities of falling pregnant at my age through IVF. The chances were really high. With normal embryos after genetic testing, chances of falling pregnant was around 80 or 90%. This looked really great. I was impressed by the detailed explanations and the answers he gave us patiently. I really thought that he was very knowledgeable and he was very caring, and I really thought that we were in good hands. They did a bunch of testing after that, a lot of blood work, um, and make sure they made sure my uterus was fine. And they also did something called AMH test to measure my ovarian reserve to make sure I was an ideal candidate for IVF. And I was spending around $20,000 from our pocket, and that included the cost for the procedure and the cost of the medicines. It was a big failure. They harvested around 10 or so eggs, and nothing went beyond day 3 of fertilization. And I still remember the day the doctor called to tell me that it did not work, and he assured me there were other ways to try. He was referring to donor eggs. Something didn't really feel right with me about the whole process. The doctor, instead of analyzing what he missed or what we missed, in spite of all the test results and the data, he was soon to talk about donor eggs, and that shut completely off in me. I was still dealing with emotional and physical pain of IVF process. All those needles and all those hormones in the body was creating a havoc. It's not a joke what women have to go through during IVF process. That's when I came to my senses. I wanted to approach this from a more spiritual sense. I had spiritual awakening around 10 years back, and I had been practicing energy healing and manifestation mainly for myself and my family and friends. And but for some reason I was not applying this to aspect of having a baby for myself. That is when I decided to really go deeper and find answers. I had decided to manifest a baby, and for my any manifestation process, the first step is to have a clear intention. I realized that my intention was not clear. I had given my power away to these doctors, physically and energetically speaking. Till then, I was not very sure if I wanted to have a baby. It was more for my husband, and I was like, it's a good idea if we have a baby, but I'm also okay even if we don't. So, you see, there, I was not in the right place, energetically speaking. Then I made a clear intention and I elevated my energy levels to manifest. I won't go more about how I did this in this video. Maybe that's for some other time if you're interested. Now, my intention was so strong to have a baby that I was okay to even adopt because I know I can love any baby unconditionally. I was ready for motherhood with a human child. I was already a mom to a furry baby. The second step in manifestation was taking the right action. I started doing everything towards this. This is when, if the intention is clear and you start taking action, the right path shows itself up. And this has proven to me again and again in my life. I started researching on improving the quality of eggs to even reaching out to adoption agencies. That is when I found an amazing book called It Starts with the Egg by Rebecca Fett. I'm not sure what part of my research led me to this book, but I remember the first doctor's words, the gynec who told me that we cannot improve the quality of our eggs. Our bodies are making over 3.8 million cells per second. So I felt there should be some way to achieve good quality of eggs if we focus on it. After all, I only needed one good egg to fall pregnant, right? I bought this book, an audible version. It starts with the egg by Rebecca Fett. And I listened to it carefully and I compiled everything I needed to do for my type. She clearly goes over the recommendations for different types of women with different conditions. And I'll tell you what worked for me. They were she was mainly suggesting some lifestyle changes plus mainly supplements. I'll tell you what I took. I mainly took three things. The first one is CoQ10 in the form of ubiquinol, 200 mg 2 to 3 times a day. The second one is DHEA. I took 25 to 50 mg per day. This one you really make sure you get tested for your levels to find the right dose. Seek your doctor's advice. But I didn't because I didn't want to be discouraged by the doctors. I was taking a very low dose, anyways, and I know that it didn't have any negative side effects for me. So please do your homework before you take it. The third one is vitamin C, 500 mg once a day. And I stopped all taking all this once I got pregnant. I also tried few other supplements the book mentions, but I didn't feel really right taking them. Something didn't really go well with me on those. So you please make sure if it feels right for you. Anything, anything people suggest, just try it out and see if it feels right for you. If it doesn't, don't do it. So I was taking the three supplements, and my husband was also taking CoQ10, but he was not taking it regularly. Um, And I also removed all the stresses from my life. I took a 3 week vacation. I was going to give it 3 months because that's how long it takes for a egg to completely mature. I was going to give it 3 months before we actually tried. So I wanted to make sure the egg is has had full chance to become fully ripe and juicy. But to my surprise, I found out I was pregnant after 2 months of taking the supplements, and this was right after our vacation. In fact, I was not even expecting this to happen. I was not doing anything else to increase the odds other than take the supplements and just relax. And I was not even keeping track of ovulation dates. So that proves the third rule of manifesting: let go and let it come to you. I now have a beautiful baby girl who's kicking and screaming and is a pure joy. I had promised myself that if everything went well, I'll share my experience with you. So here I am fulfilling that promise. I'm not discouraging you from doing an IVF, but I think you can increase your chances by combining the supplements from the book and the manifestation tips I shared with you to increase your chances. If you decide to really go that IVF route, but I truly think that you should try this natural way first and save yourself some money, time, emotional, and physical stress. Please share this video and like it if you learned anything valuable so others can benefit from this as well. I cannot imagine spending tens of thousands of dollars on one IVF cycle, and that is not done correctly, and the emotional and physical pain you have to go through. If you did try IVF and added the supplements to your plan, please do share as well. Please share your experiences, how you manifested a pregnancy, a healthy pregnancy, what worked for you, so others don't have to suffer and waste their money on unsuccessful procedures. That's it for this video, and thanks for watching.